This is Veterans Talk. It ain't nothing but a thing. Let me take off my shades. I'm Nelson McGee, your host, and I'm here with my road dog and partner in crime, my brother, a man of God. You know, and we talk. Let's talk. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good today.
We always want you to realize that this show is all about trying to make sense out of a sensitive situation called the plight of veterans in the USA. And the USA with the plight of veterans. Now, we are expecting a young lady to come on the show today that's going across the country doing something that really need to be done for veterans and the whole community. It's a VA-sponsored mental health awareness campaign. Just talking about mental health. And I was interviewed for this project, and it'll probably be coming out sometime this summer, talking about mental health. And I'm a mental patient. I'm 100% post-traumatic stress from combat in Vietnam, and that disorder has, at a point, wrecked my life. And it does something that a lot of people don't want to face. It's a product of trauma. And since I've been service connected and studied and went through therapy and had treatments, I realized that in our community, Tony, we got children that are traumatized before they even start school.
Yep.
You know, traumatized with domestic violence in their environment. Yep. And I started realizing, I said, wow, when I started looking at my own condition and accepting it and then understanding it, I'm saying, woo, this is why you have so many young black men dropping out of high school, having problems in high school, and we are not even thinking about why. Why? Yeah. It's a major issue.
Yeah.
It's a major issue.
It is a major issue that is not being dealt with.
Yeah, it's not being dealt with.
The stress, the mental stress, and of course the physical stress, is something that we are associated and dealing with. But we never think about the fact that these kids growing up in this environment.
And I'm going to tell you something, Tony, I want you to finish that thought, but as a claim rep, I've learned that most of the mental patients that die of heart-related conditions. Go ahead, brother. And I just want to put that in there so give you something else to talk about.
And a portion of that is the stress of dealing with it. That affects every part of your body, especially your heart, because of blood pressure. Whenever you're in a stressful situation, and that's just, in war, you can understand. You're stressed there. Yeah. And of course, your blood pressure, everything is up because you're anticipating anything that could happen.
Anything that could happen.
But then when you're walking the streets of Atlanta, you should not be in a stressful situation, not knowing what can happen. But this is a situation, like you mentioned, that we're putting the young people in. When we grew up, there was no stress when we grew up.
No.
We were never concerned about anything except having fun.
Listen, Tony, I can say this. I probably got more whippings at the end of the one boy in the neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
But my mom didn't ever call me out of my name, or she whipped me and let me know why she was whipping me. And that was it. She didn't try to traumatize me with verbal assaults and all kinds of things that we see in households now with children.
Yes.
So we got to really be concerned with this issue of mental health.
Yes.
And we got to accept it. See, that's one of the things. The stigma of it. And I'm gonna tell this, Tony. I hid it. I tried to do everything to deny it. I didn't want to accept it. Even though my mom would be on me every day. The second day I got home from Vietnam, my mom said, son, you need to go to that VA. But I need to go to the VA for I made it back. I'm thinking of the VA is something for somebody all bust up and,
physically.
Physically. And she said, you need some help. I need no help. I'm home now. You know, I'm home now. So, but my reaction was to sedate it. Mm-hmm. So I started using drugs and alcohol as a way to deal with my mental illness. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna have to do a show. We had to get some people on this show that know what I'm talking about, so they can really help the audience understand the need for what we're doing. I'm hoping that Hannah gonna be able to come on. We sent her a link so that she can talk about this, because she's a veteran and she's married to a veteran, and he's got PTSD and he's still active in the military.
Really?
Yes. So that's something we got to talk about. So I'm looking forward to Hannah. But you was talking about something else, Tony, that really right now, we've been talking about it in a different way, but you got to a personal level today. Would you want to kind of expand on that a little bit, because we need to reach into these spaces where these people are.
Today I had a conversation with his name, I'll call his name, Jim Carey, and I worked for him in Oklahoma while I was out there training young men to become air traffic controllers. And during that time, I was aware, and he was aware of the fact that he was dealing with a lot of pressure and stress and everything, but he made it through. He made it through Vietnam. But one of the things that has happened, his health has deteriorated to the point to where he's on dialysis 3 times a week, and that's pretty much his life.
Yes.
You know, it's dialysis and back home because he doesn't have the energy to do other things.
Yes, I know.
And so what I was thinking, and was really going to propose to Reverend McGee, is that we do outreach.
We got to.
Because he's just one situation. Look at the numbers of senior facilities in Atlanta, not just the VA, but just senior facilities where we have veterans that are housed there that are spending their time alone.
And I'm gonna tell you what, we got one of ours that would normally be at the show today. That's Dean, the brother that used to come to the show. He's in rehab now. And I didn't think about it, but you know, one of the things that we pride ourselves is in being veterans is upholding the right to vote.
Yes.
We vote religiously, whether it's for the Democrats or Republicans or whatever. We vote. We go into the poll.
Yes.
We don't give. The problem is we don't give much thought sometimes to who we voting for.
Yep.
And I want to talk about that today, Tony, a little bit, because you know. Misinformation and lies is really a problem in this political arena right now.
Oh, yes.
And what we got to be able to do is try to make sense to this, to ourselves and the rest of the people that's in the community that's organizing and working for the betterment of the community. We got to, just like you just said, we got to go into these facilities and these homes and let these people feel like they're still Americans.
Yes.
Because that's what make I got my stain on the back of my bumper sticker. I put it on the bumper sticker. I used to put it on my Bible, right?
Yep.
Now I put it on my car because I want everybody to know not only did I serve in the military, but I vote.
Yes.
And it's so important because right now we're in a period like I never seen before. I thought the Vietnam War era was ugly, but compared to what we're dealing with now, it was a cakewalk.
Yeah.
Because right now what we're dealing with is the misinformation of the social media conveyance. They're able to convey this stuff to millions of people in a matter of seconds, all over the globe. And you so many young people are being confused and caught up in this mess. You can understand that some of these people that can't overcome their hate is caught up in this mega movement, this mega movement. I'm not gonna say Republican because see, I'm a die in the woods independent. I die in the woods independent. But I have voted for Republican candidates.
Yes.
And I'll tell you who. The first George Bush.
Yes.
I voted for him. Why? He got shot down fighting in the military.
Yes.
I voted for John McCain.
Yes.
You know, I mean, I'm voting for the people that I believe is for the betterment of people.
Yes.
And so I don't have any allegiance to the Democratic Party, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm telling everybody to vote Democrats because the Republican Party has been usurped, like Hitler usurped
Yes.
the party in his day,
Yes.
and turned it into the Nazis.
Yes.
We got to vote. We got to understand why we got to vote right now, and we got to put country over party.
Yes.
Because if we don't, this guy is telling us what he is going to do with the power of the presidency. And that's what he's seeking. He knows right now that's the only thing that's gonna keep him out of jail. Right? He know that. That's listen, I know what it feels like to know that you got to go to jail.
Mm-hmm.
You would do whatever. That is one of the most urgent crisis you can face in your life besides looking at death, is going to jail. So this man is using all of his might and all of his craftiness to keep from going to jail. So what he's done, he's pulled up the most ugly part of mankind in this country. Hypocrites. Cold hypocrites. People that you say one thing and do another. And if we don't stop that, and the only way we're going to stop it right now, Malcolm told us this a long time ago. He said it's going to be the ballot or the bullet. And if we don't go to the poll and use the ballot, it's going to be the bullet, because we're not mentally, spiritually, or intellectually able to tolerate what's to come. Mm-hmm. We're not going to be able to do it. We're going to resort to violence, because it's going to be violence. This man is telling us he's going to use the power of the government to exact revenge on his adversary.
Yes.
And who is his adversary? Anybody that don't agree with him.
Yes.
William Saxby.
Yeah.
You remember William Saxby, right? I ain't got no love for William Saxby, right?
Okay.
I ain't got no love for him.
Yeah.
But this was the first senator that endorsed this man.
Yes.
And put his Senate seat on the line, became his attorney general, and got up there when he wouldn't agree with Trump to do the way Trump wanted to do. He killed his career.
Yeah. Oh yes. Yeah.
And got another lackey up there that is crazy. He up here military military promotion. Listen, we need to look at what is really going on with this mega movement and squash it with the ballot.
Yeah.
And and the way to squash it, Tony, is what you was talking about earlier. We got to go into these senior citizen situations, whether it's in the home, in centers, in wherever they're at.
Yeah.
We need to go in there and make sure they can vote, because these are the people that still got their head on right.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
They got their head on right, because they ain't caught up in this social media stuff to the point that they have been radicalized to accept this mega. I'm a preacher, so I got to watch my word. I got to watch what I say. But this mega stuff that they got going on, and I'm gonna tell you what, it's so rampant. I was at Barbecue Kitchen, which is one of the places I like to eat.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, we've been there, Tony. I went over there one day. I'm standing in line. I'm ready to get me some food because the food was good. Mm-hmm. This beautiful young lady came up. She saw my cap, and we always wearing a cap. Thank you for your service. I said, well, thank you for recognizing. She said, my dad was a Vietnam veteran. I said, well, yeah, I'm glad to know your family is a part of this country and what we trying to do for this country. Then she said, okay. She said, but you need to know I'm an undercover Trump supporter. Undercover. Mm-hmm. I backed away from her. I wonder now she got some explosives or something that she gonna use to. Why would she say the beautiful black young lady? You know that undercover. Why are you undercover?
Yeah.
That bothered me. I mean, and I started thinking about mental illness again, you know.
Yep.
And we got a lot of that, and he's manipulating it to the point that he done got over 1,300 people incarcerated. And he said he gonna pardon them on the first day.
Yes.
And in other words, all them people that he got radicalized, he gonna bring them out because that's gonna be his capacity to keep threats over people.
Yes.
But what he need to understand, Tony, he you know, just because he was able to avoid the draft, right? Millions went to the draft. Millions served in the country military. And that's what he's going to face with his mess. Because we're not intimidated, we're agitated with the mess that he's coming up with. And he should know that we're prepared to put on arms again to defend this country against any enemy, foreign or domestic. That was my pledge then, is my pledge now. And I think, Tony, that is the pledge of most veterans.
Yes.
Because what we were served for, we wanted for our children, for our families. And he's going to say in our face, oh, I'm going to be a dictator on the first day in office.
Yeah.
No, sir, I beg your pardon. I mean, you need to get your thinking together because you ain't really focused on the realities that you are facing with the mess you're talking. You cannot overcome 58,000 of my peers that died for this country.
Yep.
And you think that I won't? Tony, take over.
Okay.
Take over.
I'm going to take it in a different direction. Something that is concerning me is the fact that he has stacked the Supreme Court. And they have given all kinds of indications that they're going to be an enabler.
And they're doing it already by slowing his trial.
Yes. All of those things that were they not enabling him would never have proceeded to this point.
Listen, some of the petitions he's filing in the court would not have been received because they're frivolous.
Yes.
And they're vixing the court, wasting court time, and you know, that's what they would tell one of us.
Yes. But we're aware of the fact that it's not the court's time. They're delaying those decisions because those decisions would go against him. And so as a result, if we delay the decision until he's in office, all of a sudden his certain portions of it he will be immune from. And then he's trying to make everything he has done, and he is probably going to do, he will be immune from prosecution. And that's the scary part.
That's the scary part, that the court is enabling him right now.
Yes.
Because some of the stuff he's filing up to the later trials is frivolous.
Yes.
It has no standing under the law or the facts. Matter of fact, you can look at what you brought up, Tony. You can look at some of these lawyers that's been doing that. They've been charged now.
Yes.
Because see, at the bar level, it's a different kind of consideration. You cannot lie to the court. You're not supposed to file frivolous motions into the courts.
Yep.
You have a responsibility as a bar member. You're a member of the court.
Yes.
You protect the court the way the Constitution laid it out. But they have gone against the Constitution.
Yes.
And they need to be accountable for it. All these folks need to be accountable. Thank you, Tony. Go ahead, man.
But that's what is so scary about this. We often don't realize how powerful the judicial system in this country is for and when used properly against us. And he is showing you how he's planning to use our judicial system by stacking that Supreme Court to be used against any decision that he doesn't want to go his way.
And I mean, when you said the Supreme Court, Tony, I want to say this here. He not just stacked the Supreme Court.
Oh, yes.
He stacked the judiciary.
Yes.
And then some of his cronies in the state level, which he couldn't appoint, are filing suit.
Yes.
Like the young judge, but that did the Fulton County case. That was the messiest ruling I ever read, and I read a lot of court rulings because I'm a paralegal. The Georgia law don't talk about the appearance of wrongdoing. It's talk about the factual of wrongdoing.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
Now, the appearance of wrongdoing, you know, yeah, they muddy the water. It's nasty, right? They muddy the water, so the water is nasty. But there was no evidence whatsoever presented during this whole fiasco with this young lady that showed that she did anything wrong under the law.
Yes.
But this judge came out with, yeah, well, you can stay if you get rid of your boyfriend.
Yeah, right.
That sounds like a slave master talking to the slave.
Plus, that's her personal life. I know. Every once in a while, you have to step back and breathe in just to make sure you're getting oxygen so your thoughts are clear.
Yeah.
It appears that they aren't doing that. Their decisions have already been made. Now they're using the law to manipulate it so that their decisions appear to be fair. But
how could that be fair? How could that be fair? I'm reading this. I'm saying, what?
Yeah.
That didn't have anything to do with the case. I mean, he's come up and said, you get rid of the prosecutor and you can stay.
Yeah.
Now, that gave them down to appeal it on up to the Fifth Circuit, I guess, or the 11th Circuit. Both of them about the same. And so that's, like you say, stalling time. They enabling them to stalling time. The thing about it, he cannot do the state. He can't wash the state away. But he got so many cronies in the state that they're gonna wash it away for him.
Yes. Yeah.
They're gonna wash it away for him. It is the time for us to realize, Tony, more than any other time in history, our responsibility to vote.
Yes.
Because I believe this with all my heart. We're gonna vote and we're gonna win, but it can't be a razor thin win. It has to be a marginal win that everybody that's with him see that he lost.
Right.
So when he start his mess, the military should step in and squash it.
Yeah.
Because if the military don't step in and squash it, veterans are not gonna have people intimidated doing their jobs. I'm tired of listening at this man threatening people that's doing our work.
Yeah.
Those folks work for us. These are our people. I'm tired of listening to it. It's irritating to me.
Yes, yeah. And the thing about it is, though, he believes just the opposite.
Yeah.
They're working for him. They're trying to protect him. They're trying to guarantee him another 4 years as president of the United States.
Yeah.
He doesn't see the rationale of what he's doing. But there are groups of us that are out there that are aware of what he is attempting to do. And we're willing to vote. The challenge is to get more of that knowledge into the public so that they can see him for what he really is.
So that we don't have to go to the next stage.
Yes.
Because if we sweep him,
yes,
that's going to be so embarrassing to him and so embarrassing to his I don't know what to call these poor people that's following him.
Cronies.
These cronies there. But they, you can have a crony that ain't crazy.
Right.
See, this man has played on some of the craziest folks in the country. The people that believe that, I was watching one of his things when he was talking about knocking people out and he'll pay them. And all these people behind him clapping and going on like that. A bunch of a bunch of bullies that ain't got no platform. Donald Trump done gave him a platform. Because I'm gonna tell you something, Tony. Every bully I ever seen, man, they couldn't fight.
No, when it came down to it,
it couldn't fight.
Yeah.
They had no fight game whatsoever.
Yeah.
So that's what's going on. But they gonna find out, man. They running into something that they haven't thought about.
Yeah.
It's millions of veterans in this country, man, just sitting back quietly saying, "Okay, I'm gonna see if we're gonna let him get there. I'm prepared to be there when he come up with his stuff, because what he's talking about is definitely against what I believe to be right and just.
Not just you. More Americans are seeing the fact that what he is proposing, it goes primarily against the Constitution.
It goes against the Constitution and everything that we have put in the Constitution.
Yes.
Do you think about how many people have died in the U.S. military fighting for this, man?
Yes.
Yes, I mean, our generation, our peers.
Not just our, but especially our generation with its largest, because it is the most current one with the numbers to show how we participate and fought for these rights. And then we're going to turn it around and allow a portion of the community to elect somebody that claims to be a dictator. It doesn't make sense if you're in a democratic society and somebody talking about being a dictator.
Ali was saying something in the meeting the other night. He was saying that we got to appeal to something different to people to get them to shake them out of this grasp that he got them in. And I told him our project is the project that's doing that. It's a call to unity. This is the first. It's a call to unity for veterans and our communities, based on these young men's service. And see, when we making it local, because what we did, we took out of that 58,000, we took the ones that we know gonna be recognized in our hometown. Yeah. They're our homies.
Yes.
They're gonna be recognized, and people. This gonna make people think. There was a sacrifice for me. I missed this person. This was a part of my family.
Yes.
And he died for this. I got to stand up for it. Yeah. And I'm going to work with whoever come up with a positive way to do that. And that's why I always say we're doing more than building a memorial in the park.
Yeah.
We're building a movement. We're doing a memorializing experience for the community to understand this was a great sacrifice for the family. Not just for the guy that died, but for that family he came out of, the community he came out of. Yeah. What would have happened if he'd came back with that kind of sense of service?
Yes.
He would have helped change the landscape of that community. So we're going into the community, and we're going to start addressing the issues in every one of these communities with knowledge, skills, and resources.
Exactly.
What we was talking about the other night, there's a lot of resources, Tony, that's available to the community that they don't know anything about. Just give an example of what we just been able to do by the grace of God in the last, this is going to the third year now. We've gotten a young man that was here, sitting right here, and told you that we did it. Yep. Resources to help veterans that they don't even know about.
Yeah.
So that's why we got to make sure that we get in the community centers, that they ain't got to go looking for this stuff, because it's already there. And I'm going to tell you what I've been going through that made me realize we got to do this. I'm a veteran in Fulton County, right? Fulton County has a tax exemption, a property tax exemption for veterans that's 100% or more. You don't pay no property taxes, right? So I'm trying to get that information because I just refinanced my home. I got a VA loan, and that loan I had to put up the insurance and the taxes in escrow.
Yeah.
Now that affects my monthly note, right?
Right. Yeah.
Now, if I can get the taxes recognized, that drops my note, man. $200 or $300.
Yes.
I have been catching trying to get that information, and it's already in the system. I know Fulton County was up under this terror cyber threat and doing it. So I tried to understand that. Okay, I can't get it right now. I have still after that calmed down. Well, they tell me, well, the property is exempt for 2024. I said, what about 2023? Well, you don't owe no taxes for 2023. I said, but why I don't owe them? Can you put that in writing so I can get my money out of this mortgage company? That's $1,300 that I can use, put back in my pocket.
Yep.
I ain't got it yet.
Yeah.
Information.
Yes.
It's not that. It's not. The stuff is there. The benefits are there. But getting the bureaucrats to get you the information, man, it's like trying to pull hen teeth.
Yep.
You know, so we got to make this people understand what we're doing with the Sons of Atlanta. After we leave Piedmont Park, the day we dedicate that memorial, we activating the memorializing experience. We're going into the libraries, going into community centers with information, knowledge, and assistance, and the resources. We're gonna have the resources listed. So if a person needs something, we're gonna be able to get it to them. Make sure to get it to them. Not they got to run around going through circles and being frustrated, saying, "Well, they don't do nothing for us."
Yep.
When they do, you got Tony. We got probably about 800-900 homeless people in the city. You would think that you got 1 million the way they deal with it, right? About 800 or 900 people. Tony, if they're veterans, we can get them a check every month. If they're civilians, we can get them a check every month. Why? They got medical problems that's preventing them from working.
Yeah.
That's the key to Social Security, right? That's the key to VA benefits.
Yep.
These people in that family don't know anything about it. They just. Oh, this is one of my sisters. I don't know she.
This is.
Hey, Sam.
It's a real challenge, and a part of that challenge also.
I'm on the show right now.
There are also so many other benefits that are available.
Okay, I called you earlier. I call you back at the show.
Is that? And unfortunately, I don't remember the actual age requirement, but if you're a homeowner in Fulton County, and I believe the age is 65 or maybe 7, I'm
62.
not sure, that you're exempt from school taxes.
62.
62. You know, and so guess what the major portion of your taxes are?
School taxes, yeah.
You know, and so, you know, that's money in your pocket. I had no idea. Once I found out about it and filed for it, I told everybody that I knew, you know, particularly my family members that are homeowners and everything, that all you have, and the unfortunate thing about it is it's not done automatically. You have to request it.
You have to
request it. And then once you request it, it's almost automatically.
Yeah.
Not only was I informed that I could be exempt from a portion of the school taxes, not all of it, but a portion of it, but also the city of East Point where I live, they also pay a portion of my taxes went to the entry, and so you can get off that taxes too. It literally lowered my taxes to less than $100 a year. And I was just blown away, like, really?
Yeah.
All of that money in my pocket that I had been paying, unaware of it.
Unaware.
And so I asked her, I said, why aren't you all sharing this information with those citizens? And they said, we're not required to.
No, they're not required.
Yeah.
See, that's what the politicians use to run for office.
Yeah.
And then once you get in office, they don't tell the citizens what
they're entitled to.
So we got, that's why we're going into the community centers.
Yep.
We're going into the libraries so that they don't have to look for it. It's going to be there for them. And we're going to be marketing it because we're going to be marketing our presence in your community.
Yes.
We want you to know that today we're over here with Social Security benefits.
Yes.
And the Social Security benefit is not, you don't have to wait till you are 60-something years old. If you are injured or you are disabled and you can't work, you can be 21 and get Social Security. But do you think that they telling people in the community?
Nope.
They're not getting Social Security disability on the level that they should be getting it because they're not filing for it, Tony. And I'm gonna tell you something else too. We got a problem with these lawyers, man. Not just with them telling lies for Trump. You know, we got a problem with them charging people so much money to get the benefits that they deserve, and Social Security and VA.
Yeah.
That's when the lawyers get involved with it.
Yes.
They'll take you around the road.
The sad part about that is up front, they know what they're going to get. Mm-hmm. And so that's what they're concerned. Not with you getting the benefits, they're looking at what their profits will
What their profits gonna be.
You know.
Yeah, what their profits gonna be.
Yeah.
I worked in a lawyer's office before, and I know what you're talking about is the truth. You know? And it's sad because most of these things you can do yourself.
Exactly. Exactly.
You don't need a lawyer.
You don't need a lawyer, you know, for getting off paying a major portion of school tax. It was a simple visit to the tax office, and you request it, and they go like, okay. And not only did, like I said, they did mine, but they say now you take this to East Point and ask them this, and they will do the same thing.
Do the same thing.
You know, that's something that should, you know, once you reach a certain age, that information should be automatically imparted to you. However, you know
how you keep a person in oppression. Dr. King say, just keep the knowledge away from them.
Yeah, exactly.
If they ain't got no knowledge, they gonna be in an oppressed situation.
Yeah.
And that's what we know, that these young men died to make sure it wasn't happening to their communities.
Yes.
And we're gonna honor them. This is a way that we're gonna honor them. And I'm gonna tell you what else it's gonna do, Tony. It's gonna take away some of the lack in these communities that's causing crime too.
Right. Yeah.
See, we you know, when you start talking about it was divinely inspired, Tony, I had to look at it and say, I ain't that deep.
But that's deep, you know.
I said, I ain't that deep, so it had to come somewhere, didn't it?
Yeah.
But it's so true.
Yes.
And it keeps showing me stuff that I'm saying, Lord, where am I going? Just keep moving, just keep going. Because this is what need to be done. If you're gonna honor them, honor them with the way they serve, with the way they serve, and what they serve for. What they serve for.
You know, when we sacrificed our family when we went into the, because we had no idea if we were going to return or not.
No idea. And then you listen. And if you return, you might have returned like me.
Exactly.
I put my family through holy hell. Listen, my mama and my daddy used to look for me like they would. I dodged them hard and I did the police because I'm trying to hide the fact that I failed them because now I ain't accept my mental problem. I'm on drugs. Right?
But it wasn't your fault.
But I didn't know no better. I didn't know no better. So I'm running from them. Then I'm start doing things my dad used to tell me. My daddy used to give me a $5 bill every time I went out when I was young. He said, listen, tell you this. Just put this money in your pocket. So if your little buddy start going wrong, you come home. Because you ain't got to go with them else, because if you do with that stuff, I ain't coming at you. So I'm telling you now, put this in your pocket. They start going wrong, you come home. You can do that. And I did, Tony, because I knew if I did, I was gonna meet some consequences that I didn't want to deal with my folks, man, because they were there for me.
And the interesting thing about that, you were a grown man and you were recognizing the perils of what you were doing, and you had the love of your parents to say, we know you're going to out there, you're learning what it is to be an adult, but if you run into problems, here's an out. And so they were there for you.
They were there for me.
And so that's all we're asking from this country.
That's all we're asking for this country.
We're asking for those things to come to us that we were promised.
And that we want it in the community. Now we're coming at it. We're coming at it in the name of these young folks because this is an honor that we're doing for them. So you got to set this stuff out. We already know it's there. Because we've been sitting in the meetings like we're trying to. We sitting in budget meetings and all kind of meetings where they're allocating money. Good God Almighty. And we don't never get it because we don't never know it's there. Now, I got another thing with Miss Atkinson. I done asked her one time, and I hope you're watching the show. I'm gonna ask you again on the show, and I'm gonna ask you again when I get home in the email. Where is the repair money for veterans' homes in Fulton County? You sent me a name, but you didn't send me no contact number.
Right.
I want to know where that at so we can tell the veterans in Fulton County this help is there. You know, they got money to help you repair your house if you got some needs for that to be done.
And we have needs.
Listen,
I
got a young lady right now, man. She got a Habitat home, right? And this is a home that her and her husband got before he passed. It needs repairs on it. This Ickerson, that's why I'm asking you for it. You know, this home, she and you know what? Now, she's one of our clients that we're fighting to get her DIC, that surviving spousal benefits. Her husband was 100% service-connected disabled. Unfortunately, he wasn't 10 years into that disability before he passed. But now I'm trying to get his records to find out what was his cause of death, right? Now, I got the records, find out his cause of death. He had a heart condition. Now, I got to find out what his service-connected disability is. If he had a mental disability, then that service-connected heart condition got to come up. I done did it time and time again, but I shouldn't have to do that for these folks. We got one lady, we won a case at the appeal level, right? They sent it back down to the Veteran Administration on Claremont in July of last year. I called him last week. She's such a patient young lady at 82. Her husband was a lawyer and a captain in the military. You think they respecting this lady with their benefits, man? She lost the biggest her household income when she lost her spouse. She had to move out of the place where she was living since she died. And guess what? He died from prostate cancer, right? But they put it on his death certificate as metastasized cancer. Well, there ain't no such thing as metastasized cancer. It had to be prostate cancer that metastasized, which means it spread over his body and it causes death. Do you think the VA recognized that on the benefit there? I had to go all the way up to the Board of Veterans Appeals to get that recognized. So they sent it back down to the Benefits Administration on Claremont in July of last year. It's almost July again. And they supposed to expedite those remands. I called out, they said, well, we working on, we're trying to get some more information. More information for what? Why?
You have all the information you need.
And the board done told you to grant. The board told them to grant it. Because he died of a service-connected disability. This is Veterans Talk. There ain't nothing but veterans talking to veterans and the community about all things veterans and the community, because we are the community. I just like to think that we are the protectors of the community. We are there with police officers and firemen. I think veterans in all of those occupations, but some of us are retired and disabled. We're still for the community. That's why this show is here. We're every week, doing this show, try to make sure that you're getting information, that you're getting directions, and we're bringing out things that wasn't happening before. We know that Fulton County is going to give out another $1 million for veterans benefits. Now, Tony, last year they gave out 15 was granted. 11 of those 15 granted was for homelessness, meaning they deal with the homeless issue, right? 11. 4 of those was to deal with mental health, right? We saw 1.
Exactly.
We can't vouch for now another one on what they did with that money. I know this. I still see some of the same people on Cleveland that I saw before the grant. I don't want to see that after this meeting go out, because we got to make sure that the pimps are getting out the kitchen. We can't keep getting out resources in the community and they being snapped up by the greedy. not better needed.
One of the ones that just stands out to me, and it stood out to some members of the Veterans Empowerment Committee, was pianos across Atlanta.
Now, I think that was what made Mike decide he didn't want to be on there.
That's it. I mean,
he said he really, you know what, and I agree with him.
Yes.
But I ain't finna quit.
No.
I'm not finna lead that committee because I believe we started it, we lobbied for it because we know if it's did right, it's gonna make a hell of a difference.
Yeah.
So we're not gonna walk away from it because we got some work to do on it. But I'm gonna say this now: Dr. Brown and Patricia are leading the crew, and I think that they are ready to take us to the next level.
Yep. Right.
So we are happy that we see this turn. We're able to see this turn, and that we're gonna talk with Pitts. Our chairman, he's one of the people that hadn't fully appointed. Natalie Hall, she didn't appoint anybody, and I'm so disappointed in her because she was down in the park with us, telling everybody what she was doing for veterans,
right?
And
the other thing she was doing, she was at Concerned Black Clergy, talking about all the things she had done, and I had the opportunity, and I took advantage of bringing that to her attention, that she hadn't assigned anybody. And she said, I didn't know. And that was, and I took a deep breath. I said, well, you haven't. And because of that, we are imperiled about the governing policies that are coming out of that commission. If you had assigned the people, we might have been able to control more of the governing decisions that came out of that committee. So I'm hoping that you would assign somebody.
And I'm gonna have to call her because she ain't did it yet.
Yeah.
And that's one of the problems. But we're gonna be able to have a face-to-face meeting to talk about the committee focusing on getting itself together.
Yeah.
Since we understand that the Board of Commissioners have created the entity and kind of just y'all there. We should take responsibility for going back to the commissioners that are not cooperating and say, listen, like we said in our report, Tony, we're talking about volunteer time. The commissioners should look at having some kind of profile for the volunteers that they're selecting. Everybody need to be knowing that they're coming into a volunteer situation before they come there, because we listen to some of those people say they wouldn't come into volunteer for Fulton County, and that right then and there, that's what how are you pointing? Why you take the appointment? The commissioners are not focusing on the problem.
What they're doing is what we talk about. When voting for people in office, they're not vetting them.
They're not vetting them.
If you're selecting a person to be on Veterans Affairs Committee, then you should vet them. Or they're veterans. If they're not, but are they for veterans issues?
Whether you got time. You might be for a veteran issue, but you got a job.
You may have two jobs. Even though you may be a veteran of the Vietnam era, which means you're probably old enough to be retired, but because of your possible lack of appropriate income, you got to work another job. And so you don't have the time to commit to something.
Volunteering. Volunteering.
For us, it appears to be simple. For me, I would say that's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to assign you to this. If you don't have time, I don't have time. Yeah.
See, and I think I believe this: if the commissioners would sit up and get a profile of what they want to do with this commission, getting their people together.
Yeah.
That way the commission is representing the whole county.
Yes.
Right now, we're not representing the whole county because the whole county is not participating. Because some of those people that's been appointed are not showing up for the meetings, Tony.
Yes.
Like if you look at it, you got 7 commissioners, right?
Yep.
That should be 14 people.
14 people.
I have never been in a meeting with 14 people.
Yes.
Matter of fact, I ain't never been in a meeting with 11 people.
I'm going to say 10.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's because of the way the commission just put, after they got the law, the legislature through, they just kind of just threw it out there.
Yeah.
And they left it to, and what is happening, rather than the members of that commission running the Veteran Empowerment Commission, the staff of Fulton County is running it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
And I'm not, now don't get me wrong, I appreciate Stanley and Ickerson for what they do. I really do, because they're passionate about what they do. They're good at helping us. They're great. But that shouldn't be what is taking place. You know, you should have veterans coming to them, right, and telling them what they want done, asking them to help them find the resource so they could bring it back to the commission.
Yeah.
That's not happening. They got to set up there through the whole commission. That's part of it. We're taking man hours from them.
Yes.
We're taking man hours from them.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Fulton County commissioners need to take a look at what they're doing with this commission. Now, if you want to make it, and it's a beautiful thing. Now, it's not. It's just the way it's going, and everything takes time to develop. You know, but then I would like to see every commission, his appointees should make a report, an annual report, like we do. We get together and you know, I write it up and say you endorse it or make changes. That way, we can see how it's working across the county.
Or not working.
Not working across the county. Not working across the county. Because see, that's a good resource, Tony.
Yes.
You know, it's a resource that had not been there. It should make a difference that can be seen.
And the other thing is, if they were fully staffed, look at the knowledge that the additional knowledge we will be getting from those people that's missing now.
That's missing.
You know,
because I look at Tish and Dr. Brown.
Yeah.
Man, both of them sisters are wealth of knowledge and activity. Yeah. See, this lady, our chairman, current chairman, I see her on television all the time.
Yeah.
On court cases, you know, bringing medical evidence to make clarity for the judges. What kind of mindset, value that we have in that young lady? Having that kind of knowledge based on this commission.
Yes.
So we got some outstanding people, the few that we got, and that's willing to work, you know, and they're willing to work together. And I'm gonna tell you something. For the first time, Tony, we were heard this time. You know, we was heard. You know,
we're in our third year.
You just finally got heard.
That's fine. Okay, at least now you're listening to us.
You're listening to it.
Yeah.
Because we're there to build it. We're not there to tear it down or to sabotage it. You know, why would we lobby for something and come up there and destroy it? But what we are dealing with now, and what we're going to continue to deal with, is our project in Sons of Atlanta Vietnam War Memorial, because it is a call to unity, and it is giving us positions to check a lot of the misinformation and the missed resources too. See, these resources that Marvin, and you know what he said when he was sitting here, we hope we can get more money.
Yeah.
But we got to show some impact for the money that we're getting.
Yes.
And I mean, I'm not saying those people didn't do nothing with the money, but they didn't report nothing to us that we could see, right? So that we could advocate for them. You know, I can't advocate for none of those people to get more money, because I don't know what they did with the money they got.
Yeah. But if they come to us and say, this is what we did, but we could do more if we had more funds, that, you know, that shows that
we can communicate it to our commission.
To the commission and say, okay, you know, out of the 14 or 15 organizations that we funded, you know, 6 of them said they could do more if they had more funds, and these are the things they could do.
And we
can turn around and say, we can now justify the request for additional funds.
Additional funds.
And that's all.
That's all we're trying to do. Build this thing on a way that it's going to have the impact.
Yes.
Because now we know, see, and I'm going to tell you something, Tony, I really thought there was 2,000 or 3,000 homeless folks in Atlanta.
Yeah.
I really did. The way they make it, like when you hear people say, I got 10 million for homeless and I got 25 million for homeless, you say, good God Almighty, is that enough money for? And then come to find out, we got about 900 folks that are actually homeless in the streets of Atlanta in a given day.
Yeah.
We could do that one place that our mayor is talking about right now with Michael. That one place could be the center for change. Get them off the street, take all these resources and collaborations together, and make sure that we're talking with Clark College social work program.
Yes.
We can get social workers to help these people get their lives back together. We can get mental health people to help them get stuff together. If we got them in a contained place, a situation where we can contain. And I heard somebody say, well, all of them don't want to. Some of them want to be homeless. That is the most insane statement I ever heard. Nobody wants to be homeless. You know, I mean, some people might prefer to be homeless over the homeless apparatus they got set up now.
All the changes they are forced to go through to so-called not be homeless, it presents itself as a challenge to them, especially if they're dealing with mental problems.
Yeah,
they are. And you know, you mentioned Clark College. Morehouse, Spelman, all of those historically black colleges are graduating social workers. You know, for them to become social workers, they got to have the training. Here's an opportunity for them to exercise the training that they've gained. And so here's a perfect opportunity. You know, the resources are there.
The resources.
It's just that we've got to get them under control so that they will operating in the right areas to help the right people
at the right time.
And you know, it's
and you know what? Clark College is ready.
Yes,
they're ready. And I tell you what, Tony, what we went through, Denzel. The young lady that was one of the mental health workers, outstanding young lady too, came to our town hall meeting and said she ready to help too. Yeah. She want to be involved with this helping. We're going to create an army of volunteers that's going to really be volunteers that's going to change the landscape of our county in the name of these young men that we are honoring. And that's the way we're going to honor these folks. We're going to honor it by making that neighborhood what they would want it to be, or what they were serving for it to be. So, like you just said, Tony, the resources there, we are organizing them in a way that we're going to put them in a position in the community where the community don't have to look for them. Right. Yeah. And we're going to take away all this bureaucracy that they got to go through. We're going to navigate it for them. Yeah. You know, we're going to fix it for them. Yeah. That's what you can expect from the Veteran Empowerment Commission of Fulton County. That's what you can expect from what our commissioner, Marvin Anderson Jr. did. Yes. And the rest of the commissioners, they signed off on it. Mm-hmm. So we know that they want it. Now we got to get them to put the time in it, put the work in it to make it work. Right. You know, it's there. It's something that we know, Tony, from our own experience that it'll work. It'll work. Yeah. You know, I mean, it was just an idea when we was pushing it. But now we done got it established. Yeah. We've been to one of the mental health things. I like to go through one of the homeless things so I can see how that works. Because I got people that I can refer to them right now. Yeah. All I got to do is go down the street. You know? Really? I'm on Cleveland Avenue. Yeah. You know, so Tony, take it, baby. Yeah. We're doing great things, and we will continue to do great things in spite of some of the obstacles that appear to be placed in front of us. But I'm going to go back on because it is divinely inspired, those things appear to be. But we were able to work around all the obstacles, and so here's another opportunity that we're going to work around this obstacle to get the assistance from the people financially and socially. Socially, you know. We got people that's gonna come out that got the skills to help, that wanna come out. They telling us, hey, listen, we like what you're doing, I wanna be a part of it. Yes. And then by them being a part of it, we're gonna attempt to solve the homeless situation. We're gonna solve it. We're gonna solve it. We're gonna solve it. There's no attempting it. God has ordained this for us to do. So it's going to happen. It's gonna be done. Yes. And you know, because we gonna put all the pieces together that make it work too. Yeah. Because see, a lot of people tell me they don't want they want to be homeless. No, we're gonna want you, you're gonna be illegal for you to be homeless.
Yeah.
It's gonna have an ordinance where they can pick you up and put you in a place, and the next day you're gonna be sweeping the streets.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You know, you're gonna be a part of the cleanup crew. You ain't gonna be no lottery.
Yeah.
We ain't gonna let you mess up the street, the scenery no more. This city's too beautiful to walk, to go down the expressways and they see homeless people.
Yeah.
We got too much.
Yes.
We got too much resources. We got school buildings, Tony, that ain't working. They just empty.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gonna close that.
Yeah.
I see him knocking on the door.
So we're here every Saturday from 4 to 5. Join us on follow us on Facebook and
like us on Instagram.
Like us on Instagram. Thank you.
And share. You can share it with your friends.
Share it with your friends.
Let them know we're here.
You
Let
know.
them know we're here.
Yeah.
And we'll be back next week, the same time and the same place. We want to thank Status Network for what they're doing too. JoJo and Jack is off the chain when they come down to brand producers. They're with us every way. And now I'm going to call Hannah and see what happened to her today, because we sent the link, but we didn't get her on. But we're going to have her on. You know, we're going to get her on because what she got to share, it need to be shared. So thank you.
Yeah.
And y'all have a good week.